Hello everyone, welcome to Diademy IAS History Optional. Let us analyze paper 1 this year mains paper History Optional 2025 paper 1. Let us try to see. Overall, this year paper is not very difficult in comparison with the previous years. It is not that difficult. If you cover decently all the parts of syllabus, you can attempt very well. And even map also in comparison with the previous times, somewhat it appears easy, but again always when it comes to the sides, it appears some sides very common one, but it may not be. So always this map issue is very critical one. We will see map part separately. Let us see the first question, theoretical part. First question, you see this. The Chalcolithic people were experts in microliths and were also skillful workers in stone. Here you have to highlight Chalcolithic means what? When it comes to the evolution, Neolithic, then Chalcolithic, then Indus Valley civilization. After Indus Valley civilization, once again Chalcolithic settlements will come. That's why this one, just I will make you the map so that you will have better idea. If you take this question, the Chalcolithic people are experts in microliths and were also skillful workers in stone. So if you take this one, what are the important settlements of Chalcolithic? Identify. In the early Harappan stage also Chalcolithic, but most importantly, ochre colored pottery, Ahar culture, Malwa culture, Jorvi culture. These are the settlements. Now considering like this is 2000 BC to 1500 BC. Considering 2000 BC onwards, if you take Jorvi up to 700 BC, it will continue. So during this time period, it is saying that they are good in microliths also and also skillful in stone also. So when it comes to Chalcolithic, they used copper. Chalco means what? Copper. Lithic means stone. So many implements related to copper artifacts came, and also they continue to use stone tool. That's why Chalcolithic. All that you have to give is just in which places what kind of evidence that come. In Deccan also, this is known as Neolithic Chalcolithic. So in all these places, you have to highlight some of the OCP settlements: Ahar, Gilund, Balatal, Malwa, Naudatoli, Khayata, Jorvi, Inamgaon, Daimabad. Then here, different settlements like Maski, Brahmagiri, and so on. They are Neolithic also, Megalithic also, Chalcolithic also. All that you need to highlight is different type of, like when it comes to micro tools like blades. When it comes to stone, then different type of food related or kitchen related. Kitchen related, the stone artifacts or the stone tools were there like grinders, pestles, so and so on. So you try to highlight one by one, like in terms of kitchen related, agriculture tools, artisan related tools, various tools that are used for artisan activities, and so on, and some bronze tools also in very limited but majority copper tools. But these two micro tools for what? For fishing purpose, hunting purpose, and weaving purpose. Identifying this, So for all these economic activities, you need micro tools, microliths. That's why on one hand, copper related microliths were used. At the same time, stone tools related to like for kitchenware, and also the stone tools, whatever that were there in Neolithic period, that were continuing. For example, stone tools like celt in Neolithic, that is used for agriculture. Similar kind of stone tools were used for agriculture in Chalcolithic period as well. So this is how simply you need to highlight these are the various places. Always important to highlight which places and also what are the settlements and some evidence related to these activities. So that is how you have to highlight this particular question. So Chalcolithic people were experts in microliths and were also skillful workers in art, in stone. In another simple way, it appears like as if the sentence appears to be difficult, but it simply it is asking like what? Microliths means what? Artisan activities. Skillful workers in stone means what? Artisan activities. Simply it is asking, explain the Chalcolithic people's artisan activities. That's it. Next one. B. The Harappans were not an artistic people. Comment. This question is actually the sentence appears to be reverse. They were very good in expressing their artistic interests. Example. But here they are giving in which sense? Artistic means there might be comparison with other contemporary civilizations like Mesopotamia and Egypt. If you go to Egypt, there were huge monuments like Egypt pyramids. But that kind of pyramids were not there in Indus Valley civilization. Mesopotamia, temple-like structures, they were not there in Indus Valley civilization. So that kind of grand scale artistic expressions were not there. But at micro level, very common day-to-day level, that materialistic or utilitarian tools were more during Indus Valley civilization. That's why you have to highlight that. Even though the sentence appears to be like this, the Harappans were not artistic people means they may not have expressed their beliefs in the form of very grand temples or grand monuments. But they used their talent, their skills in expressing. Artistic means what? With clay also they have made. What with clay? Terracotta, Mother Goddess, so many images. And with stone, you can give in Harappa male torso. In Mohenjo-daro, bearded priest. And when it comes to metal, bronze dancing girl, Mohenjo-daro, bronze dancing girl. And when it comes to stone only, seals. What about seals? Seals with steatite, with soft stone, so many seals. And on each and every seal, some kind of writing. It's an artistic expression. Animal images, artistic expression. Human images, artistic expression. Plants or leaves. What about all these? These are all images, artistic expression only. They are very good in expressing art. Only when it comes to critical analysis, the sentence is completely, it has given in a negative highlight, but we have to highlight they are very good in expression of art in this format. When it comes to painting also, they have expressed very well on the pottery, black on red ware. But Egypt like pyramids of Egyptian civilization or Mesopotamian temple like civilization, that kind of big monuments are not there. But IVC people are unique in their own way. That is what you have to highlight. Next, the ideological challenge posed by Jainism and Buddhism was deeply rooted in the socio-economic transformation brought about by the expansion of agrarian settlements in eastern India. This is very straightforward question. It is one of the previous year questions also. Explain the socio-economic, political, religious factors behind the rise of heterodox ideas. Here specifically it is asking about the ideological challenge posed by Buddhism, Jainism was deeply rooted in socio-economic transformation. So simply explain the social causes economic causes by the expansion of agrarian settlements in eastern India. So when it comes to see, what you need to highlight? This is the area. When it comes to this area, Mahajanapada period, this is the road. Agriculture, 600 BC. What is the reason behind the expansion of agriculture? Iron technology, fertile soil, lot of water resources, clearing the forest and making useful for agriculture purpose. This geographic location enabled this area to expand the economic agriculture activities. Once agriculture activities means what? Land. The people who are cultivating the land, gradually they increased their economic status. For example, Vaishyas, and to some extent Sudra condition also, whoever involved in agriculture activities, their condition also improved. Social, now their economic transformation is taking place. Now once agricultural is strong, then artisan activities also will grow, then trading activities also will grow, and overall money economy. Money economy means what? Punch marked coins. So these punch marked coins become the wealth of this section. Economy transformation has taken place. Now state also wanted a share in this. That's why they are collecting taxes. Now when they are collecting taxes, from whom? There are tax exemptions on the upper varnas, whereas taxes have to be paid by Brahmana, Kshatriya, privileges. No tax, but Vaishya, Shudras, they have to pay the tax. Economic transformation. Social transformation mean, now when the economic transformation has improved, tax also they are paying. Now they gradually started questioning that when they are paying the taxes, when they are a hard working class, but when it comes to the social status, Brahmanical status, it is given like third status and fourth status. Why? We are running the society, our hard work, rulers are taking, and so many rituals, in the form of rituals also, they are patronizing many Brahmanas. Now, when it comes to the social status and religious status, that is low status is given. That is how. So you have to explain in sequence like this. The ideological challenge posed by was deeply rooted. So the causes, socio-economic transformations brought out by the expansion of agrarian settlements in eastern India. Eastern India means here Bihar region. All right. This it's a very easy question. Previous year question also. Next, third year. 3A, the origin of the territorial republics has been traced to the reaction against the pattern of life that evolved in the later Vedic period. Analyze. It's just exactly whatever we have seen so far. In this same manner, but now in terms of political. So political means what? Here, early Vedic period, tribes only. Tribes means all the leaders of the tribes were having power. But when it comes to later Vedic period, Brahmana, Kshatriya. But earlier in the early Vedic time period, there were called priests and warriors. This is the term. But now one of the 16 priests of early Vedic time period became Brahmana. So one section of the priests, and also many warriors, one section of the warriors considered to be Kshatriyas. Now they started accumulating more power through rituals, through monarchy system, hereditary monarchy. That means once a family, once a person becomes the ruler, then the next generation all automatically going to be the next ruler. The next ruler is from the same family, next ruler from the same family, hereditary monarchy. And now they are supported by the Brahmanical class through rituals, sacrifices like Ashwamedha, Vajpeya, and Ashwamedha, Vajpaya, Rajasuya. Likewise, so now it appears like a nexus between Kshatriya and Brahmana. But still, some leaders, some tribal leaders, they were thinking about the early Vedic style where all leaders were given importance. So that is where naturally, that is how the origin of the territorial republics has been traced to the reaction against the pattern of life that evolved in the later Vedic time period. This is the later Vedic life time period. Reaction to this, and many tribes were there. Those tribes now felt that we should not want this, we should have like a similar structure. That's why Vajji Confederacy, Lishchavis, Mallas, Shakyas, these are some of the republics. In this republic, all the people, it's like a oligarchy, not monarchy, but oligarchy. So simply one person should not hold entire power. All the tribal leaders should have some say in the governance. That is of oligarchy. So reaction to this life that developed in later Vedic time period. So this is where in the foothills of the Himalayas, in the Himalayan zone, these republics emerged as an ideological reaction. This is how you have to explain. Or simply, this is also a previous year question, like, but simple question was there like, comment on the Gana Sanghas in Mahajanapada time period. Like this only. Next one. How far did the Mauryans facilitate the diffusion of the material culture of the Gangetic plains? Explain. Again, this is also very straightforward. Simply, it is like an impact of the Mauryan Empire on the Indian subcontinent. Again, this is the same place. If we write 3b, how far did the Mauryan facilitate? So now you see this. It's very interesting one also. For the first time, Pan-India Empire happened. As a result, Gangetic Valley culture is going to spread across Indian subcontinent. This is early Vedic time period, early Vedic period. This is later Vedic period. And Mahajanapadas, so many Mahajanapadas were there, like this. In later Vedic time period, in Mahajanapada time period, Gangetic Valley became very powerful. Here, agriculture, fertile soil, because of fertile soil, iron technology, then transportation, punch marked coins, NBPW, Northern Black Polished Ware Pottery, that shows luxurious items, wealth increase, punch marked coins, trading activities, so many artisan activities. As a result, wealth increased, taxation increased, monarchies also became very powerful. Mahabharata, in later Vedic time period, Mahabharata story is associated with this region, and when it comes to Ramayana, associated with this region, Gangetic Valley culture. But earlier, small kingdoms were there. If people want to move from one kingdom to the other kingdom, here different tax will be there, here different tax. When it comes to administration, this is different administration, that is different administration. So naturally, there will be not smooth movement of the people, despite movement will be there. But if the administration is same, if taxation system is same, if officers are same, then automatically movement will be even more smooth. That is why in the present day context, what is the necessity of goods and services tax across the country? Earlier, there were different kinds of taxes in different states. India could not grow the kind of potential India had, that much potential it was not able to show. That's why entire taxation system and trying to improve the economic system. In that similar manner, when the same administration, same taxation policies are there across the country, naturally these ideas also people will move, ideas will move. Now the moment Mauryan Empire came, now across India, all the areas came under Mauryan Empire. People from this place to this place easily move, this place to this place easily move, this place to this place easily move. That's the reason. Here also, similar kind of administration. Here also similar kind of like agriculture practices like iron technology, wet paddy cultivation, same pottery NBPW, similar kind of beliefs, similar kind of ideologies. Buddhism spread, Buddhism, Jainism, Ajivaka, Brahmanical ideas spread is going to be faster. And the Gangetic Valley, whatever how far did Mauryan facilitate diffusion of the material culture of the Gangetic plains? Material culture means agriculture related, domestication related, economy, material culture, techniques of domestication, techniques of agriculture, techniques of artisan activities, techniques of trading activities, coinage, punch marked coins, then NBPW. It shows the kind of this one of the important archaeological evidence from this time period. So all these spread to Odisha also, Deccan also, Gujarat also, Northwest also, Northeast also gradually. That's why, no doubt, during Mauryan Empire, when it is a pan-India empire, now these ideas spread to different parts. That is the reason when the weak rulers are there in Patliputra, the neighboring kingdom, the peripheral kingdoms felt more confident that they also can rule themselves. Their administrative practices went there. Their social conditions went there. That's why they got more confidence. The moment they became weak, they declared independence. Because earlier, iron technology is monopoly of this region. Elephants are monopoly of this region. And more ideologically, more stronger, more advanced than other people. That's why they were able to expand. Now, after some time, the same whatever they have ideas, here also they have, and they feel something not new. And they also got confidence that they too can rule themselves independently. That's why after Ashoka declared independence. Critical analysis means even though majority of the places got it, but still many deep tribal pockets did not witness this kind of material exchange. That's why tribals used to continue to live in the same primitive style even till today also, if you go to deep pockets of tribes. Given the transportation facilities of that time period, Uttarapada and Dakshinapada connected, but majority areas is still under out of Mauryan administration. That will take some time to see, witness those changes. So definitely Mauryan facilitated diffusion of the material culture into other areas. Next question, examine the nature and impact of India's contacts with Central Asia during 1st to 3rd century CE. How did these interactions influence India's political, cultural, economic spheres? Political, cultural, economic spheres. Central Asia means this one. Central Asia. So to this story you continue. 3C is political. Kushanas, Shakas, many tribes entered into this part and they established their kingdoms and they brought different administrative systems like military governance. That's what political. Cultural means again the Central Asian ideas also going to enter, and here Buddhism enter there, Hinduism enter there. The Central Asian ideas are going to connect with this region. Therefore, the people, cultural means Central Asian many tribes are going to make India as their home. Their food habits, their dressing habits. For example, the Kanishka, there was one statue from Madura, that Kanishka image had a certain kind of dress code. That dress became over a period of time common to Indian dress code. In this way, the dressing habit, food habit, their beliefs also mixed with the locals, and these ideas also influenced there. So that is how examine the nature and impact of India's contacts with Central Asia during this time period, means post-Mauryan time period. How did these interactions influence India's political, cultural, economic spheres? Economic spheres means this is the same route, Silk route was going on. So silk is coming towards the Gangetic Valley also like this. And it was connected to the Roman Empire also. That's why they became very rich. They gave even gold coins also. Purest gold coin, largest number of gold coins given by Guptas, but purest given by Kushanas only. This is the area. So in this way, you can highlight this is the nature and impact. 4a. The dynamics of social mobility in early medieval period. So early medieval, 4a. Early medieval, we can consider from 600 to 1200. Early medieval, from 1200 onwards, medieval or late medieval we will call. Early medieval time period, this is the one. And when it comes to this period, always keep in mind our structure. Country is same only, we cannot change the boundaries. Whatever happens, it will happen within these boundaries. The dynamics of social mobility in early medieval India were shaped by a complex interplay of caste hierarchies, religious legitimation, economic transformation, and political patronage. Critically assess how these factors collectively reconfigured the structure of early medieval Indian society. Early medieval Indian society. Society means what? Generally, the social structure. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. This is the structure. It emerged in later Vedic time period. But it is not rigid as it appears. Always chances were there for mobility. Mobility means some new people are getting added. Whenever new people are getting added, either they will become Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. When new people are coming adding means in what sense they are adding? So that is what? Dynamics. The dynamics of social mobility. Social mobility means the mobility across these varnas were shaped by complex interplay of caste hierarchies, religious legitimation, economic transformation. Caste hierarchies by this time period, by 600, now this is 1000 BC to 600 CE. 1000 BC to 600 CE. Now, by 600 CE, that means after 1200 years, so many changes have taken place. By this time period, land grants are given to Brahmanas. When they are given land grants, now they needed Shudras for working on this. And in some place, in tribal areas, they got the land and they entered into the tribal pockets. Now, when they entered into the tribal pockets, automatically the tribal priests are going to gradually become Brahmanas. Tribal chief, warrior going to become Kshatriya. That is how in the first place also, from early Vedic to later Vedic also, that is the same structure. In early Vedic period, priests, warriors, and common people. Now, if there is a tribe is going to be in this format, and when they integrate with religious legitimation means this only. Through rituals, through sacrifices, when they enter into the Brahmanical fold, either they become any one of these things. Economic, land grants are given as part of the salary also, donations also. Merchants also donated. Landlords also used to donate to the different monks. As a result, that's why caste hierarchies, many jatis, religious legitimation, economic transformation, political patronage. So when it comes to the after Guptas, small kingdoms emerged. Now these kingdoms, to get their legitimacy, they used to give land grants. And when they are giving land grants, whoever got the land grant, they used to maintain law and order. They used to control the economic sphere of that area. As a result, social mobility also used to take place. Through rituals, religious legitimation, they even integrated many tribes, and Shudra's condition also improved as a result of this. So that is why social mobility, when so many, by this time period like Hunas, when they entered, here Rajputs, when they mix with foreign tribes, local tribes, Brahmanical rituals, a new section of people called Rajputs emerged. That was not the case before early medieval. Now it is. From where these people came? Rajputs are considered like Kshatriyas, but before this there is nothing called Rajput Kshatriya. Now it is emerging. So all these things you have to highlight, that what kind of social influx is taking place during this time period simply. So outside tribes, inside tribes, and Shudra improvement also because of the agrarian economy. Agrarian economy dominating. That's why whoever working on that land also became important. In this manner, you have to highlight. Next one. Discuss the circumstances which led to the conflict between the Pallavas and Chalukyas and mention how this rivalry shaped the power dynamic. It's a very straightforward question. Pallavas and Chalukyas, one in Karnataka based, Pallavas Tamil Nadu based. Tamil Nadu, they wanted to enter into, I will write here itself. This is Chalukyas. This is Pallavas. Pallavas wanted to enter into this, and Chalukyas also wanted to enter into this. So this Krishna Godavari valley became bone of contention factors. And when it comes to ancient medieval times, imperialism, every king wants to expand to showcase their power. That's why they also wanted to expand. They also wanted to expand near the border areas. Conflict is going to be very natural. When two imperialist powers conflict with each other, share boundary with each other, naturally wars and battles are going to happen. That is how. And sometimes even religious angle also, Shaivism, Vaishnavism kind of religious ideologies also sometimes, not every time, mainly here geopolitical struggle. Means they also wanted this geography, they also wanted this geography, they also wanted this geography, they also wanted this geography. And also personal rivalry. Suppose once war happens, in one of the cases Mahendravarman got defeated and killed, and naturally the next successor of Mahendravarman wanted to take revenge. So personal revenge. In that fashion, multiple factors led to conflict. It is very straightforward. You can easily answer it. Critically evaluate the major stages in the development of art and literature in early medieval India and explain how these stages reflected the broader changes in society and pattern of patronage during this period. Critically evaluate the major stages in the development of art and literature. Art and literature major stages means here, when it comes to the time period, critically evaluate art and in early medieval. This is the structure. Early medieval means always 600 CE to 1200 CE. Now before this, literature means, for example, Sanskrit. So gradually here regional kingdoms are going to emerge. Regional kingdoms. They will continue Sanskrit and gradually give way to vernacular literature. Stage means continuation of the Sanskrit and gradually patronizing the vernacular literature. Whatever themes like Mahabharat, Ramayana, they will continue, and when it comes to vernacular also, they will continue the themes. And same, whatever dramas, whatever written in Sanskrit, they will continue and they are going to translate, and inspired by them, new vernacular literatures are also going to emerge. That is why during this time period, Kannada, Tamil, Telugu, Bridge, Bhasha, that means Hindi, early version of Hindi, they are going to emerge in this angle. Now in the northeast, gradually a home kingdom is about to emerge, but before Assamese, the local tribal cultures are also going to be there. This is how stages means here Sanskrit continuation and patronage to the vernacular literature. Different people, always you have to see when it comes to early medieval means northwest. In northwest, who are there? These how? These here Sanskrit continues. Rajatarangini, he has written, and here Bilhana, and here Al-Biruni, Al-Biruni, here Arabic, Persian, language also going to enter in this zone. Vernacular, local, like Kannada, Telugu, Telugu, Tamil, Bengali is about to emerge, and here Hindi, Brij Bhasha or Hindi about to emerge, Gujarati is about to emerge. So Sanskrit continues, local traditions are emerging, about to emerge, and new languages like Arabic, Persian also going to enter in the northwestern regions. So that is why different stages means critically evolved the major stages in the development of art and literature in early medieval 600 to 1200. Explain how these stages reflected the broader changes in society and patterns of patronage during this period, how it is changing. When it comes to earlier rulers were considering the Sanskrit text as the reference. That's why they rule also based on Dharma Shastras. Sanskrit tradition, Gupta tradition, that is the first stage, and accordingly they encouraged Sanskrit scholars. Many Sanskrit works also emerged, and gradually, when a single dynasty ruling a particular region for very long time period, local tradition also started gaining ground, and gradually rulers also started patronizing these local traditions. As a result, new languages also emerged. Accordingly, regional literature also emerged. All right. And when it comes to art also, art can be anything. It could be painting, it could be architecture, it could be sculpture, anything. As per this, the Sanskrit versions of the stories like Ramayana and Mahabharata also has seen integration of the local cultures. That is why in Ramayana itself multiple versions are there. In Mahabharata also many people are going to include the local legends into Mahabharata story. For example, Mahabalipuram. In Mahabalipuram there are 5 Pandavaradas. So that is a local legend they integrated with the Mahabharata story. In this way they are going to connect with the Gangetic Valley culture, Sanskrit culture. So first patronage, continuation of the patronage to Sanskrit, then rise of regional traditions. And why it is happening means rise of regional kingdoms, Rajput kingdoms, Deccan kingdoms, Eastern kingdoms, and also from the northwest invasions also, Persian, Arabic, Central Asian tradition also enter. Next one, this one, fourth one. Next, fifth question. Religious themes inspired a large section of literature in provincial languages in the late medieval India. Same story only. Late medieval means from Delhi Sultanate and Mughals time period. Religious themes inspired a large section of literature in provincial languages in the late medieval India. Same story. Suppose here Gujarati, Bhakti and Sufi saints. Bhakti saints and Sufi saints in late means Delhi Sultans and Mughals, simply from 1200 to 1700. Up to 1200 early medieval, after 1200 late medieval. So in medieval period, Bhakti Sufi is one thing, and existing Hinduism one thing. Let me draw this. 5A. Regional kingdoms means what? Vijayanagara kingdom, Gujarat Sultanate, Madurai Sultanate, Eastern Gangas, Ahom kingdom, here Jaunpur, Bengal, then here Delhi Sultans and Mughals, Kashmir, and here also Delhi Sultans, Mughals. It is talking about regional kingdoms. So during Delhi Sultanate period, regional kingdoms, during Mughal time period also regional kingdoms. And along with that, Deccan Sultans, Bahmani kingdom, and Deccan Sultan. So these are the various regional kingdoms. So what is the religious themes inspired a large section of literature in provincial languages in late medieval. Religious themes inspired large section of literature in provincial literature. Provincial literature means what? Tamil literature. Hinduism inspires. Vijayanagara kingdom, Hinduism inspires. That's why Sanskrit tradition, Ramayana, Mahabharata traditions and inspired text are going to be there. And when it comes to this, Bhakti Sufi saints also emerge. When it comes to Bhakti saints, they are also going to use the same religion. Here in Punjabi language is going to emerge inspired by Sikhism. And here Kabir Dohas, Tulsidas Ramayan, vernacular language, but Ramayan is the theme. What is saying? Regional literature. Hindi literature inspired by religion. Tulsidas inspired by Ramayan. And many Bhakti saints in Maharashtra inspired by Bhakti. And Sufi saints also, whatever they are writing, whatever the stories of Sufi saints also inspired by religion, Islam. They will write in Urdu also. Regional language, Urdu is going to emerge. Deccani Urdu is going to emerge. Odisha, Odia related regional literature, Ramayan. Tamil Ramayan. Mahabharat. Same goes, like in case of here, Chaitanya Deva, religious related. Shankar Deva, religious related. Inspiration, religion, but they are going to express in regional languages. Keep giving examples in different parts. These how you have to highlight. Next one, Alauddin Khalji's economic measures aimed at centralizing political authority in the Delhi Sultanate. Very straightforward question. He wanted to, because the circumstances in which he came to power, he killed his uncle, he became the Sultan, he was not in a position to trust anyone, he wanted complete control. Ulemas controlled, Jamindars controlled, rich people controlled, all the officers controlled. That's where he wanted a very strong military, and on top of it Mongol invasions are taking place. He wanted every decision making into his hand so that nobody will question his authority. Alauddin Khalji economic measures, that's why he wanted to control the wealth and riches of each and every person. Agriculture controlled, industries controlled, trading activities controlled. In that way, economic measures aimed at centralizing political authority. Taxation improved. Money will not be there so that revolt will not take place. He has taken the wealth of ulemas so that they will not conspire against him. Then military also, the market regulation takes place so that he can give less amount of salary to the soldier. Soldiers will not revolt against him. But again, soldiers also will get sufficient minimum food as per the, because less amount of, or the price are less, so that they also can get decent livelihood, but without revolting against him. In this way, it is very straightforward. You can easily answer it. Critically assess the role of imperial karkhanas in Mughal India. How did they reflect the ideological and functional imperatives of the Mughal state? It is simply, karkhanas means industries, like public sector undertakings on the present times. Assess the role of imperial karkhanas means they construct, they create textiles for the royal family. They create weapons that are required for the royal family or the Mughal state. Various types of tools that are required for agriculture also, for the industrial activities also, for the transportation mechanism also, for the military mechanism also, they are going to construct. They are going to manufacture. So these are like karkhanas are manufacturing centers of state manufacturing zones. For the royal family members, whatever they require, whether they require food, whether they require textiles, whether they require jewelry, whether the state, whether the king requires weapons, all these are going to be manufactured by these karkhanas. How did they reflect the ideological and functional imperatives? Ideological means they wanted to control, state wanted to control, or the ruler wanted to control all the important necessities and all the strategic items of the state. They don't want to depend on others. That's why that self-reliance they wanted. Functional means for day-to-day functioning also they were using these karkhanas. This is also one of the straightforward question only. Assess the role or explain the role of karkhanas. Previously also question came. The principles of Sikhism represented a harmonious blend of Islamic and Indic religious beliefs and practices. Sikhism, Punjab region, that side Islam is dominant, this side Hinduism is dominant. Example like Guru tradition, one Guru after other Guru, that is Guru Shishya Parampara in Hinduism, and there is only one God, that is Allah in Islamic religion. So that is how one of the principles like this. Principles of Sikhism represented a harmonious blend of Islamic and Indic religious beliefs and practices. And in Islam, no caste. In Hinduism, caste is there. When it comes to Sikhism, no caste. Absurd. But again, after some time, caste also will enter. But by principle wise, they don't recognize the caste system. They consider only one God. Those are fundamental to Islam. And when it comes to the importance of Guru, that is there in Hindu tradition, Indic traditions, meditation, music, they are all part of Indic religious traditions. Now, when it comes to this harmonious, it is not that only exact copy of some elements from here and some elements from here. They also developed a unique way. For example, when it comes to the Khalsa, formation of Khalsa, with their own military organization to protect religion, that is very unique as per the circumstances. That is very unique to the Sikhism alone. Next one. Gunpowder changed the character of warfare in India during the Mughal era. Gunpowder, Babur bring gunpowder. Then he brought the techniques of Ottoman Empire along with guns. It has changed the outcome of first battle of Panipat. Next battle of Kanwa also, when he fought with Rana Sanga, same thing, the outcome completely changed. And later, the Mughals were feared by the local rulers because of their advancement in this Mughal, in gunpowder technology. And even sometimes the people who were behind the success of Mughals, local rulers like Ahmedabad, Gujarat Sultan also wanted those people, and in fact he recruited some of them also. So completely now the strategies and counter strategies are also now changing as per the gunpowder. Now the forts also, now the enemy like Mughals are having very powerful machines. The opposition like royal family members of the opposition or regional kingdoms also needed forts very strong as per this particular threat. Mughals also going to create very big forts, and these forts are going to fit with these machines. So everything according to this, according to gunpowder, everything is going to change, like the nature of the warfare, how they fight, mobilization of the military, this defense of the people and the forts creation, and also defense mechanism of the forts, big forts. Similarly, the regional kingdoms also, whoever feeling the threat from the Mughals, they also have to think about their defense as per the gunpowder technology. So it has changed. 6A. Discuss the structural features of Todarmal's revenue system and evaluate effectiveness in standardized land revenue. It's very simple. It is simply, question is different, sentence formation is different, but it is simply asking, discuss the Akbar's revenue system, simply. Akbar revenue system, like Dashala system is one of the famous system. Division of the land into like every year, Polaj, Parauti, Chachar, Banjar, like that. And Dashala system, based on the prevailing last 10 years prices, they are going to decide what kind of price farmers are going to pay. And farmers will be given patta also, that whatever that was there in Sher Shah Suri, that continued in Akbar time period also. Akbar's finance minister Todarmal, that's why same system continues. So discuss the structural features of Todarmal revenue system and evaluate effectiveness in standardized revenue assessment in India. So simply you need to highlight the success of Akbar's land revenue policy. Next, Barani's Fatwa-i-Jahandari was not a proper account of Delhi Sultanate, rather a lament elucidate. It is simply like Barani has written two books. One is Tariq-i-Firoz Shahi. It is a proper history, chronological history, what happened in different rulers. But when it comes to this, it is a kind of normative text. That means state should be like this, king should behave like this. So simply Barani is Orthodox Muslim. Sultans, he expects Sultan should behave as per Sharia. They should respect the Islamic tenets and also they should apply on all sections of the people. Whereas Delhi Sultans are not applying these principles everywhere, because Indian society is very diverse. Many religions are there. Exactly implementing a Saudi Arabian or any Islamic kingdom's principle, Sharia, is not going to be useful or fruitful or not safe for the kings, sultans. That's why sultans used to change it as per the local tradition. Whereas Barani used to say that, he used to complain that the true Islamic nature principles are not being implemented by the Delhi sultans. It has to be done. That's why this is of Fatwa-i-Jahandari. Jahandari was not a proper account of Delhi Sultanate, rather a lament. So simply you have to highlight the nature of Barani account. Discuss the development of Hindi literature under Mughal patronage. How did the Bhakti and Sufi movements influence it? Simply explain the regional literature due to Bhakti Sufi movement. Hindi literature, Sikhism literature, Marathi literature, Telugu literature, n number of examples. In Odisha, Ramayan. In Hindi, Tulsidas Ramayan. And when it comes to Sikhism text also. Marathi, Bhakti saints, they are going to sing or they are going to create text literature in Marathi, Tamil literature, Telugu literature, Assamese literature. In this way, but here you have to highlight, here Bhakti, how did Bhakti Sufi saint influence it? Sufi saints also, they are going to use Urdu and Urdu literature also going to emerge. But here you have to highlight, discuss the development of Hindi literature under Mughal patronage. When it comes to Sufi movement means, there is Abdul Rahim, he has given Dohe. So in this way, some people who are inspired from Bhakti and Sufi movement, they used to give regional literature, and that is what you have to highlight. It is also very straightforward, very already previous year question also you can highlight. Portuguese maritime power disrupted the character of trade in Indian Ocean. Again, it is also straightforward. There is Carthage system. Already it was asked also. Explain the Carthage system of Portuguese. Licensing system. Whoever is going through the Arabian Sea, they have to Indian Ocean and Arabian Sea, they have to take the permission or the license from the Portuguese. If you do not have that license, they are going to seize it. In that way, earlier freedom of navigation was there. Now they completely disturbed it. That is how. In this way, Portuguese maritime power disrupted. Akbar's Rajput policy was shaped by considerations of the factional politics in the Mughal court. Discuss. It simply explain the reasons for the Rajput policy. When it comes to Akbar, Akbar was having multiple factions during his time period. Uzbeks were there, Iranis were there, Turanis were there, Afghanis were there, Indian people were there. He was not able to trust on Afghans because Mughals have taken power from Afghans. He was not able to trust Uzbeks because Uzbeks wanted more power and there were internal politics. Somebody wanted his brother to become the next ruler. That's why some issue emerged. Iranis and Turanis, they were traditionally enjoying the power, and Akbar is giving more importance to all sections of the people. That's why there is some issue there. So he wanted to create his own group. That group is Rajput because of his grown up there also, and also his influence, his inspiration from the or influence of Sufism on him also one of the reasons for this movement. So it is not that only to counter the different factions within the Akbar system, but also the kind of atmosphere that was prevailing in India, that also made him more tolerant. He himself wanted to make a Sulhai-Kul policy, and that is why he gradually gave more closer policy towards Rajputs. So open, tolerant policy. matrimonial alliances, giving concessions, giving autonomy to them, and abolishing jizya pilgrimage tax. These are all the policies that made Akbar very unique in our medieval history. So it is not that only due to counter the factions he was going towards Rajput, but in nature, his personal nature also, existing atmosphere also make him to be more tolerant. Next, evaluate the impact of Mughal revenue administration on the agrarian structure of North India. To what extent did it bring continuity and change in the rural socio-economic fabric? Simply how to highlight, explain the land revenue system of Mughals like Humayun, Babar. They don't have much time. From Akbar onwards, he is going to renovate, reform. Then Jahangir, Shah Jahan, they are going to continue. When it comes to Aurangzeb, it is going to change little bit, but because of the continuous wars and battles, there is going to be a lot of pressure on the agrarian structure. Due to Jagirdari, Mansabdari system, they tried to exploit more, and gradually many peasants are going to revolt against Aurangzeb. Evaluate impact of revenue administration on the agrarian structure of North India. To what extent did it bring continuity and change in the rural socio-economic fabric? So start from Akbar continuously till Aurangzeb, you have to evaluate. Revenue administration on the agrarian structure of North India, different agrarian impact. Next, Aurangzeb's religious policy was a reflection of the changed political realities of the Mughal Empire. Again, Aurangzeb religious policy, just you need to highlight why he was going like this. Four brothers were there. Dara Shikoh was more close to Sufi and liberal people, whereas when Aurangzeb wanted to become powerful, he had to take the support of ulemas, orthodox ulemas. Once he come to the power, he had to follow the agenda of orthodox ulemas. That is how Aurangzeb policy was a reflection of changed political realities of the Mughal Empire. Now, his personal character since beginning is authoritative in nature. When other people wanted autonomy, like Shivaji wanted autonomy, when Aurangzeb is not able to grant autonomy because he wanted centralization of the power, whereas leaders like Shivaji wanted autonomy. That is why when Rajputs wanted autonomy, when Sikhs wanted autonomy, Aurangzeb was not in a position because he personally wanted complete control of the state. That's why he also followed different policies to control his enemy, control his enemies also, his opponents also. In the process, he is going to make different policies related to religion, like when it comes to Sikhism, execution of Sikh Guru, and when it comes to the wars and battles, destruction of the temples. So in this way, Aurangzeb religious policy was a reflection of the changed political realities of the Mughal Empire. So gradually, the challenges to the Mughal Empire made him. It's like a two-way. It is not that only one way. Just because of challenges he is behaving like that. No. Because of his policies, once again it created more troubles and it became a vicious cycle. It is also like a regular question, Aurangzeb religious policy causes. Define the rise of distinct provincial architecture styles under the Mughal Empire in light of structural diversity, cultural interaction, and the nature of provincial power dynamics. Define the rise of provincial architectural styles under the Mughal Empire in light of structural diversity. Mughal Empire means what? When Akbar was there, here Deccan Sultans were there. Vijayanagara Empire was also there. So you have to highlight Ahmednagar was also there. Just you need to highlight Kashmir Kingdom was also there. Distinct provincial architecture, you need to highlight Deccan Sultans, whatever, different like Ahmednagar, Bijapur, then Hyderabad, Hampi in the Vijayanagar style. Like that you need to highlight. So cultural interaction, define the rise of distinct provincial architectural styles under the Mughal Empire in light of structural diversity, cultural interaction, and nature of provincial power dynamics. So simply you need to highlight during Mughal Empire, different provinces were there. Provincial architecture you need to highlight. Critically examine the political, military, and administrative factors that led to the transformation of the Maratha character in 18th century. How did these changes influence its rise and eventual decline? When Shivaji created guerrilla war tactic, Ashtapradhan, and he tried to organize the administration. But after the exit of Shivaji, Peshwas became powerful. When Shivaji was there, centralized. When Peshwa was there, decentralized. When administration of Shivaji is organized administration, whereas Peshwa administration is not that organized. Guerrilla war tactic, that is the warfare of Shivaji, whereas Peshwas changed it in the form of regular cavalry warfare. That is how critically examine political, military and administrative factors that led to the transformation of the Maratha character. Maratha character, transformation of the Maratha character in 18th century, these how the Maratha polity changed. How did these changes influence its rise and eventual decline? So how did changes means, initially when it comes to Shivaji, it led to rise. Later when Peshwas also created a pragmatic approach in inculcating or bringing different factions into one fold or different set of people across India into one fold by creating confederacy. Initially it helped, but after some time the same structure enabled it to decline due to internal factions. So like that, examine political, military, administrative factors that led to the transformation. Political factors means the Mughal. When Mughal Empire was very powerful, Shivaji used Mughal, the guerrilla tactic. But after the decline of Aurangzeb, then they have given Mughal Empire itself is in decline. Political factors, Peshwas expanded very powerfully. Military also, initially guerrilla, then cavalry, that also enabled them to fastly expand. Administrative factors also, initially like during Shivaji time period, Ashtapradhan, and later it was a confederacy of Bhonsle, then Gaikwad, Holkar and Scindia, Peshwas, 5 different set of powers. These are the factors why this kind of system means when they were expanding, they were not able to maintain from the centralized administration. That's why regional power centers were given. And to collect the tax also, they created Chauth and Sardeshmukhi system. Initially that helped them. Same factors led to the transformation of the power in 1700s. How did these changes influence its rise? We have seen like same system helped them to rise, but same system like Chauth and Sardeshmukhi, not very regular, it declined. Then confederacy, initially it is a strong, later it became a weakness. Initially cavalry became strong, later became weakness because they are not very strong in cavalry in comparison with Afghan cavalry forces. That's why they were defeated in Third Battle of Panipat. And later when British came with modernized advanced weapons, they were not able to match them. That is how it affected them. So in this way you have to highlight like this. Is it clear? So overall the question paper is actually all the questions like from the previous year questions only. Just sentence formation changes, otherwise most of these questions are from the previous year questions. So always be ready with the previous year questions, even if the paper is very tough also, but questions are not going to change much. That's why always it will help you if you do previous year questions well. Alright, this is paper 1. We will analyze paper 2 separately in a separate video. Thank you very much.